Bolivia has deployed more than 2,000 police officers as part of a massive manhunt for an alleged drug trafficker who is believed to be in the city of Santa Cruz. Nayomi Perez reports.
32-year-old Sebastian Marcet Cabrera is accused of trafficking tons of cocaine from South America to Europe, as well as murdering anti-drug prosecutor Marcelo Pecci, who was shot dead while on honeymoon in Colombia in 2022. The massive manhunt called Operation Marcet began Saturday when authorities tracked the Uruguayan national and his family down to a luxurious mansion in Santa Cruz. Reports says Marcet narrowly escaped arrest in a white Land Cruiser to the neighboring province of Cochabamba after being likely forewarned of an imminent raid. According to Bolivia's government minister Eduardo del Castillo, the 32-year-old is currently the most wanted in Bolivia and is also being sought by Interpol, the Drug Enforcement Administration, by the countries of the region such as Uruguay, Brazil, Paraguay, as well as the United States. Bolivian officials say 8 properties were searched on Sunday. 17 rifles, a pistol, ammunitions, bulletproof vests, 31 cars, a motorcycle, and even exotic animals were found. Marcet is known to have a long history of evading capture, and as of now, the massive search for him continues. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Nayomi Perez at SMNI News.
A recent Gallup poll reveals that public confidence in the U.S. military has reached its lowest point since 1997. Over the past 2 years, trust in the armed forces has declined by 10 points, leading to a historic recruitment crisis. Loren Santos has the details.
According to a Gallup poll published on Monday, fewer Americans have confidence in their military than at any point since 1997. Over the last 2 years, trust in the armed forces has dropped by 10 points, leading to a historic recruitment crisis for the services. The poll that was conducted in June revealed that 60% of respondents expressed a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in the military, which is down from 64% last year. The last time public confidence in the military was at 60% was in 1997, and it has not been lower since 1988, when it was at 58%. After the 9/11 attacks in 2001, public support for the U.S. services surged, with the armed forces enjoying 82% approval when President George W. Bush invaded Iraq in 2003. While the post-9/11 patriotism declined as the conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan continued, approval remained in the mid-70s until 2020, when it began to steadily decline year after year. Traditionally, Republicans are more likely to support the military than Democrats, but their confidence has dropped from 91% in 2020 to 68% today. As public support for the military declines, the armed forces are facing challenges in recruiting new members. Army, Navy, and Air Force leaders testified in a congressional hearing in March that they all expect to fall short of their recruitment targets this year, particularly after the Army experienced its worst year for recruitment in 2020 since the abolition of the draft in 1973. According to a Pentagon study published in March, of the 17 to 24-year-olds usually targeted by military recruiters, 80% are physically unfit for service due to obesity, drug use, or poor mental health. Furthermore, only 9% of this age group have an interest in joining the military in the first place, as stated by Army Secretary Christine Wormuth in an interview with CNBC News in October. Reporting, this has been Loren Santos, SMNI News.
Japan is set to approve its first domestically developed coronavirus vaccine called Daichirona. Ria Saito has the details.
Japan is expected to approve the Daichirona RNA vaccine after the panel of experts of the country's Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare endorsed Daiichi Sankyo Company's plan to manufacture and sell the said drug. Japan's Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare is expected to formally approve RNA vaccine Daiichi soon. It can be remembered that in January, Daiichi Sankyo applied with the Health Ministry to approve its vaccine, which is intended for third jobs. Meanwhile, the panel of experts said it will continue to assess the application of another Japanese drug maker, Shionogi & Company. This company applied with the ministry for approval last November for its recombinant protein-based preventive vaccine intended for first and second jobs. Japan is currently using US-made messenger RNA vaccines developed by Pfizer and Moderna. Starting September, the ministry plans to introduce vaccines that correspond to the Omicron subvariant, the XBB. Japan has agreed to buy vaccines from American companies Moderna and Pfizer. 以上、日本から世田谷ニュースをお伝えしました。エズムナイニュース、ジャパン。